Hi everybody, welcome to another video. Today I'm talking about a question that I come across quite often, and it's one that kind of annoys me a little bit. And the question is, how do I forget somebody? Or when will I forget somebody? Or how do I completely forget somebody? And the reason this question annoys me, and possibly why my answer is going to annoy a lot of people, is because my contention is that you shouldn't try to forget somebody. And I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about that now. What I often find with people who ask this question is they're a lot of the time in a state of denial or regret. And they're in such a hurry to pretend that someone in their life never actually happened. And I understand why. It's partly because it's really painful, that they forget that the reason people come into our lives is that they contribute to who we are, who we become, and who we were. And when you erase someone from your past, you're also erasing the lesson that they had to teach you. For me, I almost believe that it's better and more beneficial to you to accept that that person happened, and also just accept that you cared, yes? Because caring isn't a bad thing. And in doing so, you're able to shift your regret into something else, which is usually gratitude. Gratitude that that person and their lesson came into your life, and gratitude that maybe even you're not in that situation anymore. And if they did make you happy and they're not in your life anymore, then this is an opportunity to introspect and ask why. And what I also find is that when you try to repress a particular emotion, you put so much effort in pushing everything down that those emotions end up controlling you in the end. And if it's not those emotions in particular, then it'll often be something else like anxiety or the stress of actually trying to run away from it all. In fact, I'm not the only one to notice this. In a recent study, which I'll show links to, they found that people who took the time to do deep inquiry into their situations tended to deal with their breakups a lot better than people who didn't go deep enough. What this shows is that the pressure to forget can often hinder someone's recovery process. Usually it's best just to admit that you're sad, cry your tears, let yourself have your heart break, accept that person is on your mind, and eventually the novelty is going to wear off. You'll get through a day and realize you haven't thought about them, and then maybe the next day you'll think about them again, and that's okay. But try to remove the judgment and let the emotions just filter through, because by trying to hold back, you're actually making the problem bigger than it needs to be. Don't judge yourself for having feelings. Now obviously none of this is a free pass to wallow and not get on with your life and not put one foot in front of the other. You still need to keep doing all of that. And if you find that it's actually your partner that's not getting over things as quickly as you'd like them to, you need to ask yourself two questions. Firstly, is the problem big enough that possibly they're not in a right state of mind to be in a relationship? And secondly, are you letting your insecurities about your partner's past get in the way of having an open and honest relationship? And what I mean by this is what I said before about people from our past being big contributors to who we become. And hopefully the people from our past has helped contribute to the person that you now love today. And you need to let them acknowledge that part of their history. And by doing that, you open an honest channel of communication where it's okay to talk about things that are taboo. And in doing that, you also start to eclipse that person isn't forgetting quickly enough, if that all makes sense. Lastly, it's important to come to terms with the idea that some people you'll just never forget. But just because you haven't forgotten doesn't mean that that person belongs in your life or that those memories somehow make you damaged. They're just memories, that's it. The thoughts alone indicate that that person was important to you and at one point you cared. Or maybe you still care, and that's okay too. Some love just never dies, but it does change, and sometimes that change means that you're not together anymore. There will be other loves, or maybe there won't be. Either way, you're going to be okay. So to answer the question, how do you forget someone and get rid of the heartbreak? The best thing you can do is stop trying to forget altogether. Okay, that's all I've got to say for now on that. I hope this video has benefited you in some way, and if there's anyone else you think might benefit from this too, feel free to share this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also go to katerinasims.com and subscribe to my email updates through there. I have other posts that I do throughout the week. I hope you have a wonderful week. Keep loving and living, and I'll talk to you soon. Mwah!